Hey guys, and welcome to Jay's Nest. Today we're going to talk about the pros and the cons of newborn cloth diapering. As always, I will keep a breakdown of the whole entire video down below, so make sure you guys check that out so you know really what this video is about. I try to do that to make it easier for you guys. We will be talking about the basic pros and cons when you're looking at it, comparing it to a one-size stash, and then we're going to talk about the pros and cons to each diapering system. So don't forget to check that out down below so you can fast forward or rewind to whatever parts you want to see first. The very first pro is that they're trim. This is going to look a lot more trim on baby compared to this. I mean, let's see what this looks like snap down all the way first. So even with it snapped down to the smallest setting, it is still pretty big compared to a newborn diaper. I mean, and the leg holes are really big. I did try this one size cover on a newborn that was 7 pounds and it was too big. So one of the pros to newborn cloth diapering is that it will definitely give a way more trim fit than one size diapers. I actually found that with one size diapers, to get it to fit under the cord at birth, it had to fit really far down the thigh, and on some diapers it reached the knee. And just as the same as you wear your underwear, you want that newborn cloth diaper there as well. And also, when your baby's in one size, you want that one size cloth diaper there as well. Of course, you can make it work for certain brands in the one size cloth diapering system, but for the most part, to get a correct fit on a newborn, one size cloth diapers are going to look crazy bulky, even if you can get it to work. Another pro for newborn cloth diapers is that you can sell them when you're done. So you're going to get about 50 to 70% of the money that you spent into these back into your pocket. And that's if you're buying new. If you buy used, then you're going to get just about the same amount that you paid back into your diapers as when you sell it. So that means if you buy this for $12 on the swap page, as long as you take good care of this diaper, you can sun out any of the stains. That'll be another video in itself. The sun is a very powerful bleaching agent. But if you buy this for $12 on the swap page, you could also sell it again for $12 on the swap page. There are certain brands that hold their value really well. Now, if you're going to buy an Alva newborn diaper, those cost anywhere between $5 to $7 depending on where you're getting it. You're probably not going to be able to sell it for $5 to $7. You would be able to sell it for at least half of that price, just because those diapers are on the cheaper end, and if somebody wanted to pay $5 to $7 for a used one, they would just go buy it new, if that makes sense. So there are certain brands that hold their value pretty well. This diaper, brand new, the Smart Bottoms Born Smart, costs $18 brand new. So if you can find it for like $10 to $12 on the swap page, used for your baby, you could also sell it for that price again. So you're really not losing any money in that situation. So that is one thing you should also consider, is buying used. I know it's not for everybody, but that is an option. If you're trying to do multiple diapering systems like fitteds and covers or all-in-ones, buying used would be a really good way to be able to try out all of those different diapering systems. And when you sell these newborn diapers, you can use that money into your one-size stash. So the money isn't completely gone. What I would suggest while you're building your stash is to get a little bit of one size and some newborns as well, because you might be in this place where your baby grows out of every single newborn diaper and then you're left with no diapers at all for your one size stash. Or you could also do this where your baby is starting to grow out of some of the smaller newborn diapers. I would consider the Born Smart to be on the smaller end of newborn cloth diapers. You're also using covers, so you have a Rumperoos cover, so this would last maybe just a little longer than this. Sell these off and buy some one size diapers, to add into your stash, and then you can still be using a few newborn diapers but also have some one size diapers in your stash. Usually one size diapers start fitting around 10 pounds, so keep that in mind. It will be different depending on the size and shape of your baby. Some babies don't fit into one size cloth diapers until they're 12 to 13 pounds. The size and shape of your baby really does matter. You probably get tired of hearing that in every single video, but it's the truth. Some babies have incredibly skinny legs, and it's hard to get a good fit on anything, even newborn cloth diapers. And some babies have a hard time fitting in newborn cloth diapers because their legs are so chunky. And they're so chunky, they're just built a little wider. So every baby will be different. I've had both really skinny and really chunky babies, so I've seen both ends of the spectrum.
Waking up, feeling the taste of our fight last night.
A con to newborn cloth diapering is that it's an extra cost on top of your one size stash. So if you're trying to do a little bit of both, and you have the bulk of your one size stash already bought, and you want to do newborn diapers as well, that's going to be an extra cost on top of your one size stash. So that is something that you need to keep in mind. And like I said, you could just buy a newborn stash and then slowly wean in to the one size stash, but you don't know how fast your baby's going to grow. And that is my next point. You don't know how fast your baby's gonna grow. Your baby can outgrow these in 2 weeks. Your baby can outgrow these in 6 months. It's really hard telling. I've had both, and I know how it feels, and it doesn't feel good when your baby grows out of them fast, especially if you decide to invest in a really big stash for a newborn. So that is something that you need to consider. And then also, we can't predict the size of your baby. Ultrasounds can be slightly accurate. Slightly is the key word. We can't predict the size of your baby. Right before I had Hazel, I had an ultrasound the day before I had her, and she was supposed to weigh 9.1 pounds, and she came out 7'10". So ultrasounds can be off by a few pounds either way, so it's really hard to tell, especially if you've never had children before and you don't have an average idea of what your children weigh. And even then, you could have a baby that weighs 6 pounds and then have a baby that weighed 10 pounds at birth. It's a mystery, and that is one of the main reasons why trying to gauge out whether a newborn stash is worth it really sucks, because we don't know how big your baby will be or how fast they'll grow. So now let's hop into the different diapering systems.
I've waited so long.
A pro to all-in-one cloth diapers is that they're pretty easy to use. This is probably as close to a disposable as you'll get, because everything is just all in one. Everything that you need for the baby is all here. You have the absorbency, you have the waterproof layer, and then you also have a type of closure. I would say for friendly use for your significant other, a nanny, a daycare, something like that, a Velcro diaper all-in-one might be a little better. Here's a Velcro all-in-one that I have. It is the Tot Spots, which Tot Spots have probably one of the most sturdy Velcros on the market, but this is probably as close to a disposable as you'll get. Everything's already sewn in and ready to go. You just put it on, especially this diaper because there's no buttons like a rise setting. So this diaper has a rise setting so you can adjust how short the diaper is, which that in itself has its own pros and cons, the fact that this doesn't have that. But this would be really easy for someone else to use. Another pro is that a lot of them have a umbilical cord snap down. Not all all-in-ones, newborn all-in-ones have it, but a lot do, which is really helpful because it can fit directly at birth and under the cord. I know sometimes babies have really small legs. You could always take this PUL wing that's underneath the tab and pull it up, and it actually tightens the legs. Let's see if I can get a good video of it. Watch as I pull that up, it starts to pull that up and it actually tightens it. So it looks really wonky, but if your baby has extremely tiny legs, that might be a good solution for you. I've seen a lot of moms on Facebook and forums lately that had just had babies that talk about their newborn cloth diapers not fitting them. So that might be a little hack that you can look into. But also, a diaper like this, it already has that cutout, so you don't even have to worry about the snap down. So as far as all-in-ones go, I really like that some of them have that snap down feature. Another pro for the newborn all-in-ones is that they're pretty trim. Not all of them are super trim. Like this Tot Spots one, I feel like is a little bulky. Some brands are bulky in the crotch and some are just bulky sticking out. But for the most part, newborn all-in-ones are pretty trim. A con to newborn all-in-ones is that there's limited absorbency. So when you open this up, there is limited absorbency sewn into the diaper, and that's really all you get. There are some diapers that have this option for a pocket inside the all-in-one, which is nice, so they have the sewn in absorbency. Then they also have the pocket so you can add absorbency, but for the most part, a lot of people don't even bug with that. If the all-in-one is not absorbent enough, they just toss it and go with a different diapering system or sell them off for one-size diapers. That is a huge con with all-in-ones, and that's why a lot of people don't exactly love all-in-ones, especially diapers like the Little Joey and the THX and Happy Flute that look like the Little Joey with this design where it has like this double gusset. Some of them don't have the double gusset because Rumparoo's just patented. Yeah, they did that to their diapers, and other newborn diapers are not allowed to have that with this specific design. But for the most part, these Little Joeys really aren't that absorbent. They're great, they're cute, they're tiny, they fit tiny babies. So do the THX and Happy Flute, but I'll tell you what, the THX and Happy Flute are definitely not absorbent as the Little Joey, and they're cute, but it's not that absorbent. And it's just a few layers of microfiber sewn in here, and microfiber really isn't that absorbent compared to anything else. So especially when it comes to all-in-ones like this, I see so many people have issues with this specific diaper or the specific style of diaper. It's just not absorbent enough after a while. It might work for the first few weeks, but after that it's kind of useless. If you're buying the Happy Flute or THX one, those can cost like $5 to $7 depending on where you get them, whether it's in a co-op or eBay or Amazon or whatever, but for the most part it's kind of a waste of money because it's just not absorbent enough, and that's what everybody's issues with them is just they're not absorbent enough. Also, if you have a fast grower, these aren't good for you. I would not use this after like 10 pounds, maybe 11 would be pushing it because your baby would be on the last snaps, and even then, like I said, it wouldn't be absorbent enough. So that is another con about all-in-ones, especially this Born Smart. I loved this diaper at birth. Both of these were great hospital diapers, so cute at birth, fit under the cord. They were great, but they're not going to last as long as some of the other diapers that you could possibly buy for your newborn, unfortunately. So the cons is that there's limited absorbency. It's probably not good for heavy wetters at all, with the exception of ones with the pockets that might work. And then also, your baby's probably going to grow out of these pretty quickly if your baby is a fast grower or if your baby is just born on the larger side. Okay, so now we're going to talk about pockets. Pockets are probably the least popular choice when it comes to newborn cloth diapering, for the simple fact that sometimes the pockets are just too small to stuff, and people don't even want to bother with that. When you have a one-size diaper, it's different because you can usually fit your whole hand and sometimes your arm inside of it. When it comes to a newborn diaper, they're cut smaller, and I know specifically the Alva, it is harder to stuff because it's just so thin, and trying to get your hand in there is a pain in the butt. There are certain brands like Kauai, where it has a really big pocket in the back. I don't have an issue stuffing these diapers. And then you could also use an Apple Cheeks size 1, just depending on the size of your baby. And doing that newborn hack I kind of talked about earlier to get it to fit around tiny little legs by pulling up these wings. This will actually fit a newborn. Again, it's going to look bulky. This is not a one-size diaper because it's size 1, but it is on the bigger side, so it would look a little weird on your baby, but you can make it work. But one pro that I really enjoy with pocket diapers, and it's the reason why my one-size stash is mainly pocket diapers, is because you can adjust the absorbency. Most pocket diapers come with microfiber, And if you've watched my videos, you probably know how I feel about microfiber. And I'll just leave it at that. But I like that you can adjust the absorbency. I found that newborn pre-folds worked really well inside these pocket diapers. I specifically found that bamboo newborn pre-folds worked well in here because bamboo shrinks. This is just cotton, but if I were to have a bamboo one, it would probably be just a little shorter and it would fit a lot better in here, and it's way more absorbent. When you fold a pre-fold down like this, it causes all the layers to be on top of each other, which puts all the absorbency literally just here in the center, which is great for a pocket diaper. And I love using pre-folds for pocket diapers, whether it's for a newborn or a one-size dash. It's a really great option. It's a great way to use pre-folds. So I really like that. If your baby's a heavy wetter, this would also be great because you could buy like hemp inserts. There are a lot of combinations you could use with these pocket diapers to make it more absorbent for your baby. And it also has that stay dry inner. All pocket diapers do, some type of micro fleece or micro suede. And that takes all of the wetness and the pee away from your baby's skin. It just kind of pulls it through this layer and then into the pocket. It soaks in whatever insert is in there. So that is a really good pro, I guess I'd say, about newborn pocket diapers, because that stay dry liner helps keep baby dry, and sometimes when babies come out, they're just really super sensitive to any type of wetness, and that's really good to keep their skin dry and keep it from being irritated. Covers are the cheapest route to cloth diapering. There are so many different ways and combinations you can use these that make these so great. You can use these with pre-folds. You can snappy it around your baby and then put the cover over it. Or you can take the pre-fold like this. One of my favorite ways, lazy ways to use a pre-fold, and then just lay it down inside the cover like this. Well, the other way around. Not with the pre-fold outside, but you get what I'm saying. Put that inside the diaper, and that's a really good way to use it as well. It's really cheap, and this is why. So you put this pre-fold inside the cover, baby soils it, and as long as it doesn't get onto the cover, you can just change this out and put a new one in. And usually you can use covers up to 3 times. That's just an average before you have to change the cover. Now, if poop gets on the cover, I would suggest getting a new cover. Some people say you can wipe it, but what I found, especially with newborn poop, since it's explosive, a lot of times it gets on this outer elastic, and there's no cleaning that off or wiping that off. And anyways, if your baby does poop on the cover's going to smell like poop. So even if you wipe it off, it's going to smell like poop. So I would just put this in the dirties and then start over again with a new cover. Covers typically can be used a little longer than certain all-in-ones or pocket diapers for the simple fact that they come in different sizes. So this Rumparoo's cover fits up to about 12 pounds, but if you get a Thirsties size 1 duo wrap, that's going to last you until about 18 pounds, from 6 to 18 pounds. So I think that is really cool. That definitely goes over the mark of a newborn cloth diaper fit because it fits a little past the newborn stage. Also, I found that the Nicki's diaper cover, it's advertised between 5 to 13 pounds, which I personally think is incorrect. I don't know how well this would fit on a 5-pound baby, but I've never had a 5-pound baby. It started fitting Scarlett comfortably around 8 or 9 pounds, and it seriously has lasted comfortably until 16 or 17 pounds. She can still wear this cover. I think she's about 18, 19 pounds. She can still wear this cover, but all the options that I use are pretty bulky, so that's the only reason why we don't still use newborn covers for Scarlett, and she's a 1.5 years right now. Just to give you an idea. So a Thirsties size 1 duo wrap and a Nicki's newborn cover, these would last you a lot longer than, let's say, a Rumparoo's cover, which only fits to about 12 pounds. So for certain brands, covers can really take you the long mile with your money. And another thing I really love about covers, which is another pro, is that you can adjust the absorbency. So if your baby needs a lot of absorbency, then you get to choose it, because this is just a waterproof cover, In simple terms, this is a modern day plastic pant. So instead of just a big fluffy thing that goes over your baby's pants, we now have customizable covers where you can adjust the rise and how short or tall it is on your baby, and then also how tight it is around your baby's waist and your baby's legs. So plastic pants have come a long way, and now they're in really cute prints. But you can also add whatever absorbency you want. You could use a pre-fold, you could use flats. This is a hand-dyed flat. And then you could also use something, if you need more absorbency, you could use something like a hemp pre-fold, which is really nice if your baby is a super heavy wetter. So that is a pro for covers, is that you can choose whatever absorbency is, and it's really individual to each baby depending on how much absorbency your baby needs.
Moving on, seeing it all in a whole new light.
The cons to this, and this number one sounds stupid, but I'm going to put it as number one anyways, is that it's not as glamorous as an all-in-one. And as silly as that sounds, I think a lot of us feel that way, even if we don't openly admit it. Using a cover with, let's say, flats. I know this is decorated, so it's a little different than a plain white flat. But using covers and flats doesn't always seem that pretty, and it's not as modern. While it has come a long way, you know, the plastic pants, quotations, have come a long way with their design and the prints and all that stuff, it's not as glamorous as an all-in-one, because all-in-ones, everything is just there. Even pocket diapers. Everything is just there that you need, and the modernness to it just seems really cool, and it doesn't always feel that way when it comes to covers. I know that kept me away from covers in my early journey. So while that's not like a huge con, I know a lot of us do feel that way, so even if you don't want to admit it, I feel like I needed to throw that in. There can also be a learning curve with covers. That's why a lot of people don't like it. They think it's too many steps, which I get, especially in the middle of the night. Sometimes you don't even want to fumble with, you know, pinning a pre-fold onto baby. That's just, it's not always fun, and it's not always ideal to do that. So there is a learning curve, especially if your baby has to go to a daycare. They might not want to do this. If you're a significant other or your grandma or your mom or whoever wants to help with diaper changes, they might not want to do this. This seems like too many steps to get this right, and then to get the cover to fit over it with the right fit. It's a two-step process, and it's not always appealing when it comes to like an all-in-one that you can just Velcro on and you're done. You know what I'm saying? So that is a really huge con. It took me a lot of practice actually to get this down. I practiced on a lot of dolls before I had Scarlett to get this down, and even when I did this in the hospital, I'll show you a clip, the fit was really bad. And it takes practice. You get better over time, but it does take practice, and sometimes people just, they don't have time to practice, or it's just not appealing for them to practice to get this down. And then, kind of like I mentioned in my last point, another con is it's not fun to fumble with this at nighttime. It just isn't. I'm going to admit that. It is not fun when you're running on less than 2 hours of sleep and it's in the middle of the night and you're tired and baby's crying and needs a diaper change. This is not exactly the system that I would personally choose, and it's not really an appealing choice, I guess I would say. In my opinion, I don't find this appealing to use at nighttime. I would prefer fitteds with covers at nighttime, but this, it's a lot of work to do in the middle of the night while you're really tired. So to me, that is a con. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If you made it to the end, I appreciate it. I hope this information was helpful. I hope this information was helpful to you guys. If you guys are interested in more newborn cloth diapering videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below, because I will be releasing more newborn cloth diapering videos. Baby is due in June of 2018, so there will definitely be more newborn cloth diapering videos once a baby gets here. But I also have some more planned for these next few weeks as well. So please stay tuned for that. If you found it helpful, give it a thumbs up, and I will link my other newborn cloth diapering videos down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.